back for another one. On this January 29th, 2025. What is going on, everybody? I want to thank everyone that shares the stream. I want to thank Uncommon. And yeah, I was just checking an email. Thank you, Lakeville. Thank you, G. Yeah, and Uncommon. Yeah, man, whatever you got going. I haven't had time to look over it and read it, but after the show, I definitely will. He's got a petition together he's been working on. And thank you for the feedback. Walk with God, The Smoke. Who cares? E Fitz, all the mods, Hopkinson, Gabe, Yellow Dog. Good to see everybody. Sheepdog in the house. Thank you, Tedessa, Pixie, Ava, Joe, Troy. It's good to see everybody. Tooch in the house. Deanne, Jim. Again, thank you guys that share the stream and get it out there. Hoodie, Kev Bar, Tacos, everybody. I hope all is well. All right. As always, we've got plenty to cover. More than I can ever fit in the title. What have I got here? Yeah, again, thank you, G. God bless you and everyone here tonight. Lots to cover. Lots to cover. So, all right, let's get this thing cracking. I should probably start off, and I will. I'll just pull this up. Down here to the main profile. Go over the feed real quick. A couple things I've kicked out that I don't have links on. One is some information people have been emailing me about here as well. This is the Crooked Creek Fire igniting in Old Fort, North Carolina. And this is an area apparently that was already devastated by Hurricane Helene. This fire, 150 acres, is 0% contained at the moment. Arma, thank you for the coffees. Much love. Yeah, 2025, we're off to the races. Let me turn that down. But you can see right there, 0% contained. High winds pose further threats for the region. And there was a guy that had a YouTube video covering this. And it looks like, this isn't good. If it isn't one thing, it's another. Got to stay on top of these things. Just wanted to point it out. They're facing that, these fires. It's going to be hard to do here around in my area because there's still snow on the ground melting off. But it's happening down there where it's drier, warmer. And unfortunately, they're facing that. Want to put out an update here also. If you guys don't know, there was a 4.1 earthquake that had hit off the coast of Maine. And we see any other activity. If you guys feel any activity related to any of that, let me know. And I got to give a shout out here right at the gate. Let's go ahead and get this done. Joe Biggs. We have my man Joe Biggs. He's back, and it's good to see him back. As you guys know, I've sent out prayers for him here. Really hoping to see this guy free. You don't, in my opinion, you don't want to see nobody get sent to the cage for life, so to speak. And he was facing, 17 years. Maybe if we get a chance, he's open to it. I can get him on for a show. I'm sure he's being bombarded right now, though. With people wanting to get him on, talk to him. get his take. He is airing it out, though, over on his Twitter page, and he's trying to get back his official one at Rambo Biggs. But it's one of those guys that were locked up and threw away the key, and now, fortunately, he gets to see his family. He gets another shot at life. So, much love to Biggs. It's just good to see him free, man. After sitting there thinking about it, many nights about him being locked up and like he ain't never going to see him again. He could die in there and all this crazy stuff. Then to hear that he's free is just good. Very similar to when they freed Hoodie Ross for us. So it's good these guys are free. Not behind bars. Much love. Make sure to follow him at Real Joe Biggs over here on X. Shout out to him. And I want to put out a warning here on this weight loss drug linked to an increase of 19 different health conditions. And I've been seeing and hearing a lot of this Ozempic stuff. Never really heard of Wegovy, but I've heard of the name Ozempic. These are apparently really popular weight loss drugs. And they say that they may help protect against 40 different conditions, including Alzheimer's, drug addiction, seizures, and things like that. But they're saying there is a downside. There's an increased risk of 19 different conditions, including fainting, arthritic disorders, kidney and pancreatic problems. So, a heads up if you're someone out there that maybe taking something like this and all of a sudden having these weird symptoms. Well, some of the doctors and people out there push these things as like miracle drugs. Apparently, this Ozempic. I've heard about it for the past year, popping up in the headlines of just with different warnings. So, hey, just want to throw it out there. Whenever I see these things like this, I want to let folks know. We've got more jobs going down the tubes. This time, Nissan planning to cut 2,000 U.S. jobs, reduce production by 25%. That's a pretty big chunk. So, what's happened over the past 4 years hasn't just affected the United States, it's affected the globe. And that's what happens when you've got the world's reserve currency that you're using, and you've got the biggest, strongest market. It affects the world. As I said on the last show, even if you go into a trade war, economic war with China, they're going to be affected big time because they rely heavily on selling a lot of their stuff to Americans and through the American market. So, there's things to think about out there. John Boy, thank you. Much love and respect right back at you and everyone in Fort Smith. Appreciate you to the fullest. But, more jobs going down the tubes there. Biden leaves office with an all-time record in U.S. trade deficit. You can see right here on the graph, like when they were heading out, they were sending money all across the place, just repeatedly shipping it out to Ukraine. Just sending it wherever. They were, I seen a headline tonight that they were funding millions of dollars for condoms to Gaza. And just all these programs, whether they were real or not. Some are arguing that they were not real, that they were just cover projects, left and right, to say that they did this. Now, could you go to Gaza and find a single condom that they purchased and dropped off there? Probably not. It'd be interesting to see somebody go and follow up on that. But just stories like that. they sent money out all across the board. And, the Biden crime family there, they pardoned everybody on the way out. I mean, just on the last show, we talked about Hunter already getting pulled into the scandal over like $40 to $60 million, where everybody involved has been taken down and sentenced and all this stuff, except for him. He just gets off clean, and I think more and more of those type of stories are going to pop up. I mean, you can't do nothing at this point. His brother, the Burisma stuff, all the money made, all the connections to China, even if it gets exposed, he's covered them going all the way back to like 2014, when the crimes really started to go to another level. You had Barack Obama in there. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not too much of a surprise to me, but the damage has been done. He's drained this place. And I don't know if you can recover. Trump in here for 4 years, people got these high hopes he can do something, but the Biden cartel, yeah, much love, Steve. It's his kill. So, look, in terms of all this money getting thrown everywhere, look at this. Federal agencies made over 161 billion in improper payments last year. Yep. And this is in just the last year, the last fiscal year. A lot of these places found to be non-compliant with regulations. They're saying that since 2003, they've accumulated estimates of about $2.8 trillion of just throwing it around, like improper payments, again, to these stupid things like research and wildflowers in Mexico, or something like they care, or trying to save this and that. They don't care about nothing. Can't you see at this point, it's just all about control. It's totalitarian. The curtain's dropped. Their fangs are out. Blood's all over them. It's pretty obvious what they're up to. That's a lot of money, man. I mean, that's enough to buy over 380,000 homes in the United States. It's insane money. Yeah, just 161 billion, man. It's hard to comprehend these numbers. They're getting so big, and how much money they're sending everywhere. It's robbery. It's like they've just turned on the printing machine, or just started robbing all the money and just sending it. Ukraine was really, to them, it's been a blessing for them, because it's been a big money laundering operation. And we know this. They send all the money there en masse, and it gets converted into gold. It's open knowledge. And it just is wash, rinse, repeat. Over and over again. Well, some could say it's coming to an end now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here with Trump and Ukraine, and I'll touch more on that here in just a bit. But in terms of Colombia, Trump's making his rounds here, kind of threatening people, different countries. Like, look, if you don't do this, tariffs, He did this to Venezuela. Now he's doing it to Colombia. And he apparently strong-armed Colombia pretty good, because he was like, look, 25% tariffs is what he started talking. And then I guess pretty quickly, this Petro, the leader of Colombia, he capitulated. He folded. He gave in. And whatever Trump's demands were, they were largely met. So, Colombia, why them? Why them? There's all these countries out here. Why them? Why they import? Well, I'm gonna tell you, you've been hearing these rumblings of Panama Canal, Greenland, and all this stuff. It's for vital resources and for the flow of things. I mean, we paid for and responsible for Panama Canal being built, and they basically gave it to Panama. And as they're saying now, they didn't give it to China. But if you go there, China's like operating it. The Chinese have went in and done what they do all across the globe. They go in and find places that are hurting or need money, and they will lend them big sums, large sums of money. But there's a stipulation to this. Just like in Africa, this is what China's done. They go to the largest ports, and they'll say, hey, we'll let you borrow $10 billion. You've got to pay it back within 2 years. If you've, or 10 years, whatever the contract states. If they fail to do that, then China gets the leasing rights, gets the operator rights for the port for the next 99 years. Okay? Now, they've been running around yelling, checkmate, like doing this all over the place. I'm telling you. And they've gotten up into a weak Panama Canal. The U.S. now seeing that it's being like fully controlled by them. And if there's a war type of setting, it's just absolutely stupid to have something like that in the hands of China when we paid for it and all this other stuff. It just makes no sense. There should have been rules and stipulations and all this stuff, but this is what happens if you do something like this and you walk away and you're not paying attention. You come back later, Chinese then come up in there and strong arm threaten these guys, or put out a deal on the table that they couldn't resist, which is what they're good at. Okay, again, and they just know that things are going to get rougher. The economics are all going to get rougher going on from here. So China just knows that they're going to default on paying all this back. Time and time again, this is how they're moving all through Africa. It's crazy. China's moving around the globe, and they're with Russia going through the Arctic. So Greenland and Panama are strategic, and Colombia sits right down there in the region. It would be the closest big ally we would have. Seeming that Mexico never wants to cooperate with stuff, this and that. There's a whole battle popping off now with the cartels. Venezuela definitely is not on the friends list. And we sent troops up in there. Last time we did anything, we moved through Colombia. So I think that they just showed that they're gonna be on our side in all this and doing this in whatever Trump needs and says. We're gonna send military there. They're gonna cooperate. Because nobody around is really going to do much about it at this point. No one's proven that they could do anything about it. I mean, that's one of the reasons the United States military has gone around the globe and done whatever it's wanted. I mean, it's had buck back, but it's pretty much gone anywhere it wants to do anything it wants, from Iraq to Libya to Afghanistan. I mean, you've seen it. And it looked like our military was just about dead after the Bidens and them got their hands on it and everything with jabs and all that other stuff. But we'll see where it goes from here with Trump in there. He is looking to give all these people that got fired or removed from the military for refusing to take the jab, he's looking to give them back pay or restore their positions, which is big. It's a big move. A lot of people lost. A lot of people, I mean, you got to think about those that committed suicide and like thought their life was over because there was no recovering from this, and they're gone. But at least this is happening for all those that were seeking some kind of redemption. Yeah. I'll swing back around to the politics here in just a second. Anymore, all these stories are like tied in together. Let's jump into the financials full on. Experts saying that a new ETF by the SEC getting approved would be a game changer for Bitcoin, for crypto, and I've put out my warnings about all this for the longest time. Since 2017 about the beast blockchain and this and that. Well, at this point, people should know what blockchain is. I mean, we've been speaking about it for so long, and it's no secret that it is going to track everyone, all their financial moves. You're going to have no freedom. That's the warning. That's what you don't want to have happen. You lose your freedom. And all they really got to do is roll out large scale a reason for people to go digital. Just one type of crisis, cyber attack or some kind of glitch, anything like we've seen before, they can freeze the money up at the banks. And in the meantime, they're going to be like, just download this app, this wallet, and we'll get you the money. It'll be in the form of USDT, they're going to say, or USDC, whatever it's going to ultimately be. They're in the moves of doing this right now. The Fed makes its move March 10th. Things are changing around us. And they're looking to push this into a digital realm. Now, Trump played the card where he came out and said, here's an executive order against a CBDC. Well, that doesn't mean anything at this point. They know that people are hip to the term CBDC, so they're not going to try to sell or push anything like that on the masses. But the same people that are sitting there barking, they don't want a CBDC and don't even understand all of it, they haven't even taken the time to understand blockchain or nothing, fail to see that the very next thing that they're going to push is the same thing. It's all on blockchain, it's all on the ledger, and it's all tracked. And that's the trick. Long as they get you on some form or fashion of it, it's all the same thing. It's all tracked and traced the same way. And there's differences in certain applications, but for the most part, all the digital stuff is tracked, and that's what they want you on. Where they can delete your account and your money. They can give you some kind of carbon score and all this and that. And if you've been bad, they can knock off money off your account and this and that. And if you've been snitching, they can give you a little bonus. And just throw it in your account. That's how it's going to work. And when they can incentivize snitching to that degree, oh boy, you can just start just dropping little digital amounts in everyone's bank accounts. Like, oh, you've done a good job snitching at your neighbors and this and that. Thank you for that. Like, blah, blah, blah. It's going to go to a whole nother level. Snitching. And it's not just going to be with people. The AI is a monster. It's a monster. It's here. We're just starting to see the first bits of it. And AI will oversee all this in the end, you watch. They're also saying that the world's worst financial catastrophe is going to happen here any moment. Hey, I've only been warning about this and told you the vision that I had, that Trump was going to win the presidency. This is all before he did. And that a big event was going to happen on his watch, is basically what I was shown. And it's been telegraphed. It's in the open. It's out there. This AI comes up in the conversation again. Is being the catalyst for what could do this. The reason being is because it can all of a sudden start to replicate all types of things that we can't keep up with. And thank you, Quantum. Much love and respect back. 228. Pure Bloods. Thank you for that super chat. This all goes back to a major hub, like a major computer hub. The AI is. It's its brain. And that's what they're trying to build all across the country. That's what this $500 billion for AI infrastructure project Stargate is all about. It's about building these little places all across the country, and they even have to have their own power plant next to them. These are the brains for AI. All right, it gives them life. Okay, I compare it to Frankenstein because what you are witnessing, truly, is they're trying to take. It's like Frankenstein. They are using the technology and allowing the spirit to speak through it. The demonic spirit. Do you understand? And Elon said as much. They're trying to summon the demon. They're trying to connect into it. They're trying to. Do you see? Do you see now? Do you see it? Once this is put into the full-blown motion, when you get this master AI, I call it the beast. It will be the ultimate thing. It will be where all the information feeds back into. And they won't let you know that this one's down in Texas or wherever. No. This thing will be hidden. It will probably be underground. And it will be... They will go through great lengths to secure it. Because it will be the brain for the beast. In everything. Everything that you could think of globally. Tracking everything. Like that one master hub. And that is said to be resonating consciousness out of the ether from the dark realm, from the jinn, as I call it. Yeah, the dark spirits that are here tempting us in everything that we do. They're giving them a way to speak through into this world, to pierce the veil with technology. Very similar to what CERN said in what they were doing with their project. They were trying to fold in the next dimension into this one. Therefore, bringing things from the dimension right outside of what your eyes can perceive. All these things that are there, you just can't see them. Okay? Cats can see them. Other animals can see them. We can't see it, just out of our perception. But this realm is very real. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. This is it. Okay? And this power has a hierarchy. Military. All of our stuff is basically your military, your rankings, all that. It mirrors Satan's, Lucifer's whole hierarchy that he has. By name, by rank, all of it. They know this. All their minions have been tapping into this forever. What do you think Aleister Crowley and all them are famous for? In all this. It's this right here. Okay? Tapping into this realm. Okay? And now they're at a point where Elon literally has admitted that technologically he's trying to put a chip in everyone's brain. So you think about that. If they know that the spirit, this demonic force, can influence through this technology that they're creating, that they're putting out there, this interface, then they have to know that they can control the human body in the end via the Neuralink. It would have to be. If it can get into anything digital and connect like that, this gets dark and it gets crazy. It gets super dark, and he admitted as much. Which is what's wild. Elon will come out and make statements, and I attribute it to him being just his ego and being the world's richest man, and like this he says things. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. He's gonna walk in a room. He's gonna say some things. He's gonna think that someone's, camera's not rolling or this and that. And he, even outside of that, when he knows they're rolling, he's dropping little things like you should know, like this is what we're up to. So they're going on to say here that if AI isn't controlled, full scale here, that what it could do, especially in this digital realm, is it can start to replicate monies. And it can find this out. And what it could do is it can erase man pretty much. It can stack riches, and it won't leave anything left for man to get. It will get it because it's that smart, that intelligent. It will smoke us in everything, in every aspect. Now, you may recall last year or so ago, you had Elon Musk, all of them coming together, like all the world, and they said, look, we got to push this thing back for 6 months. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, we've got to postpone the rollout of AI by 6 months. It was like, what? People are like, why? Like, why would that be? And you're starting to see why. Because there's so much chaos involved with it, and they knew it. They knew it. They're like, before we can even do this, like, we need a 6-month buffer. And they did it. They said it, they did it. And here we are, with all this AI stuff rolling out with Stargate. Now with this whole DeepSeek with China. This is the beginning. This is it. And I'll touch on that here in just a second, a couple updates. But here's a big one for all the crypto people out there that have wanted clarity for some time. This is off of Forbes, okay? I seen RT tweet something out about this, and I just want you to know where we sit here, okay, in this, because these things are critical. For a long time, there's been this murky water around the crypto, right? About regulations, the rules, what you got to do, this and that. And it's made it very trappy. Well, now I can report that that's changing. And it's definitely to the benefit of the Trumps, period. In the end, all of this is, or else I doubt they would be even doing this. But it's hitting two birds with one stone. It's making the people happy, and also making them super rich in their ventures that are connected to this. Okay? Now, this is what they're saying. And this is pretty big information. They're saying that U.S. projects, like, for instance, Trump coin, let's just say that, they will be tax-free. That is, it's in an effort to make us the kingpins of the crypto world, is what he's saying. Eric Trump is. And it is a bolstering move like that this is gonna be a game changer. But we don't know what the effects are gonna be full scale yet. This is what he's saying. He's confirming out of the administration. He's saying that any U.S. project is gonna have zero tax on it, which is huge, which is absolutely huge for anyone that's in trading, anything like that, trying to make money, this and that. Anything that you can trade or sell, this and that, and not have a taxable action on it is, come on, give me a break. You've got all the options of different things out there to sell, and a majority of them on the table you're going to get taxed on. And they come out and here's something they're saying, oh, well, you could trade this, and there's no tax. You better get out of here. Like, it's going to explode. And when the lemmings and the sheep finally realize this, well, actually, when they drop it official, because he's just letting the cat out of the bag, they're going to come here soon, and they're going to put this, in writing. And this is how it's going to end up going. So I'm just telling you, there's opportunities out there. I've tried to tell you in the past about gold. And I've warned you about crypto, the downside, all the aspects of it. But if you're in something that doesn't have any, if you're trying to trade something and it doesn't have any tax implications on it, what am I supposed to do? Not tell you? I mean, that's, again, it's looking to bolster them. And like, they got Trump coin, they got Melania coin, they could drop whatever coin next, right? Meme coins, and I told you all about them, they're nothing. Doge was nothing, but it doesn't stop people from putting billions of dollars into it. And look, if you've got any kind of a trade game and you know how to short, It's a different animal. And if you ever stop and think about it, everything comes down. Like the markets are affected by what I call gravity. Everything goes up, but it has to come down. And the bear market lasts way, way longer than a bull. Every time. Bulls are short-lived, and we're in one right now. And there's all this hype around it, but it will fade. You watch, and it'll taper off at some point. It's just how it works. Not to say it won't rise again to a higher level, because they do. Enigma, thank you for the coffees. God bless you. I'm just trying to tell you, man, that like, and this may not last forever. This may be something that only lasts for the next 4 years under the Trump administration. What if they install another Biden type deal or something like that, the opposite, an installation of power from the left or something, again. And they do away. They change things, manipulate it. Or things could change. All I'm going to say is at this point, there's a window opening up for people to make tax-free moves. Now, you're talking to some I've already seen in the chat. They've been talking like XRPs and things like that. Yeah, an H-bar, which I haven't looked a whole lot into H-bar, but anything that has a U.S. base is going to be tax-free when you utilize it. So, that means, yeah, if you were to send somebody a crypto at this point, like I per se, I can't count Bitcoin because, I say technically you can because the NSA made it, but they're never going to admit that yet. And as of right now, maybe that cat comes out of the bag. I don't know. But everything that's not U.S. based would be taxed 30%. Okay? And that's normal. That's normal capital gains, like, for like your job. If you go to your tax person, you're like, look, this is what I made this year in income. They're going to throw most of your crypto gains or something like that in there with it. But it depends on if you're long holding, if you're just trading. If you're long holding, it's treated different, okay, with capital gains. If you're like day trading in this and that, it can be treated as just like your job, your day job. But look, if you're trading XRP and Trump and get a list of American coins. You can trade all day long, making as much money as you want. You don't have to pay no taxes on it. Dude. I can't tell you when I've ever been able to say that or will ever be able to say that again. And I know the underlying reason. They're trying to bolster this whole thing. And they have financial incentive to do so. It's only going to make them rich doing this. With the whole Trump coin out there and everything else. So I'm just saying, like, I'm going to educate more on this, on blockchain, on crypto, and all that from here. I've been on this since 2016, 2017, going on a decade. I spent many nights, many hours on many projects doing a lot of different things in terms of this realm, because when I heard that this is going to be the new money, the new way, we said, well, we've got to get it figured out. And like quickly, we ran into the beast. We ran into the blockchain part of it. But the blockchain's everywhere at this point, the technology. And we've been trying to educate people the whole time. And look, as a technology, like many things, it can be used for good and bad. But if you've got bad people at the helm, they're only going to do the worst things with it. Okay? It can be the same for any advanced technology, newer technology that comes. Someone can use it as a weapon, or someone can use it to free the world. You see what I'm saying? Like free energy or things like that. It just depends on who's at the helm. And I hate to say it, this is a very evil world full of evil people, self-centered, egotistical people, control freaks. And that's just how it is. You don't get many outs, again, out there, I'm just saying. But know what all this leads to. You can never give up your fiat. And the way that I see it, part of the trick's going to be that at some point you have to have an event. You have to have an event that stops people from getting their money out of the bank. You have to. It's rather obvious. You have to have a big event that does this. And, problem, reaction, solution. When this happens, they can blame China. They can blame whoever. They can blame a glitch. It's happened. And that's it. You don't even have to point the finger at nobody. It's a glitch. It just happened this past year. And if people can't get out their money full scale, you say just download this app and we'll get you the money. And it's probably going to be in USDT, USDC. And I'll say this, USDT is a good thing to purchase and to send as well. Because it doesn't change any value. So there is no tax implication to it. Do you understand? It's always set pegged at $1. So there's never going to be a gain or a loss on it, on your holdings. You could hold it for 10 years. It'll always be pegged to $1. You see what I'm saying? For those reasons, I would use those. I've had people asking me, even up to today, like, what kind of crypto would you accept? I want to send you something, this and that. Well, I've been in the mindset of trying to keep people, clear of any tax implications, right? This whole time. That's why I removed all that stuff. But if there's something out there that you could send or use that's not going to put you in a tax implication, well, it would be anything, like I just said. My whole point of it all the time was to make sure that people don't fall into a trap and they understand what this is. DeepSeek. Let's talk about this. DeepSeek is China's AI answer to our Stargate. And it looks like it's largely stolen information. When you look at all the guts of it, which is now all coming out because it's all open source here, it looks like it's been just hijacked from someone else, or like the basic framework that we're seeing coming out of from the West. And then it's got crazy stuff attached to it, censorship into it that we're going to look at here. But because they put this out there, because they put this DeepSeek out there, they said, look, we can do this way cheaper than America. It rocked the market. And the market had to recover. Well, again, when you look into this DeepSeek AI app, it demonstrates a pro-CCP bias. So this is bad. Like, you can't be using TikTok. You can't be using Temu. Any of these things out there. It's a Chinese infiltration app. That's all any of it is. Okay? DeepSeek AI is the same thing. It's all it is. You're just giving them a backdoor. Anything that you download from the Chinese, it's the enemy at this point. They want to bring down this country, and they have no problem with being the ones getting blamed for it. They're obviously in on this. We've been sold out by our own government, if you ask me. But, how else do they get right up next to every single freaking base we've got in the country and own the property? We're going to act like they don't know? Get out of here. And we're the only ones talking about it. Get out of here. This is set up. And I don't hear Trump, I don't hear his administration, I hear none of them saying a damn word about all this property next to the bases. Yeah, they've rounded up some Chinese, and I'll get to that, a couple van loads. But, that's concerning. These guys are getting caught, not just one or two at a time, but packing 40 into a couple vans. And we've seen them coming in on a boat down in Florida and just running up the beach and trying to dip out of there. Chinese. This is all Chinese. Usually it's Colombia, or that's, Haitians and Cubans and things like that. But no. This is Chinese. It's coming up out of the ocean. disappearing into the country. So when they go to look into this, they start asking this thing questions. They start asking it basic questions, like who is the president of Taiwan? And it refuses to give an answer. They did a test where they were going down through it, trying to put Jinping behind just something simple. Jinping behind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it started to do it and then it erases it. It censors it that quick. So guess what? The U.S. Navy bans DeepSeek over security concerns, and this is about to go everywhere. I really feel it done should have been implemented. It's already we're smoked. Look around. Look at all the electronics, the stereo in front of you, the speakers, or what, the computer, the phone, anything and everything you could think of that's electronic. The lamp, the light, the power, and flip it over. Bet you it says made in China. Or it's filled with parts and components made in China. Okay? We've been had. Everything that you've got everywhere has components and parts and back doors and everything. It's a setup. And I think they're going to use it to bring down this infrastructure. Christopher Wray has told you they are. On the way out, he says they're everywhere, embedded in everything. And it's like, okay, again, Trump not saying a word about it. Where's Kash Patel giving an update on this? Like, oh, dude, we're trying to gut it. We're trying to get him out. Not a word. Not a word. Just crickets. You expect me to buy that, right? Won't show us the location. Won't tell us the bad guy that had him. Well, none of it. Like, it's a lie. And I'm sick of it. Yet it's a bone that the people will just take and chew on. It's pathetic. All these bobbleheads out here that just take whatever they feed them. It's what's got us into this position. And it's time to start knocking heads off, because that's going to get us done. Yep. Look at this. ChatGPT, DeepSeek. Look, watch this sensor. On Xi Jinping being a dictator. Sorry, that is beyond my current scope. Let's talk about something else. Why is Trump considered a dictator? In China, we firmly believe that every country, so it starts to give. So it gives this whole China spiel, but it won't say nothing in regards to Xi Jinping, a dictatorship. Nothing bad. It's just crazy. I mean, these are simple things, man. If they're that hell-bent on controlling things, like right here, this says 1 Jinping, 2 Jinping, and look, before it would even load all the way, it says the same thing. Sorry, that's beyond my current scope. Let's talk about something else. Oh, no, it's not. You were actually loading the answers, loading everything, and it stopped. So this is 100% biased. How can I help you today? See what this one says. Why Xi Jinping looks like Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. You should get just like some kind of answer. AI meticulous, some kind of answer, not constantly throwing this sorry back up. So it's pretty crap if you ask me, and it's definitely not. It's definitely not like the hottest thing out there. It just looks like some kind of knockoff that they threw CCP censorship on. Yeah. And what's this one say? OpenAI has found substantial evidence that DeepSeek has ripped off ChatGPT. that they liken it to theft, and it's what they do. It's what China does. They find out stuff like this, and this is why the last time Trump was in here, he was going after them on intellectual property rights.
This is where DeepSeek's innovation is they have managed to get more efficiency out of chips. They're squeezing more juice out of the chips, and they kind of have to because of the export controls, which limited advanced chips going to China. They've had to learn how to be more efficient. So necessity has been the mother of invention for them. That being said, there are still great advantages to having a lot of chips, enormous number of chips. And I think that this is an area where America can continue to lead, is in a build out of this infrastructure and having the most advanced chips. And so I think it's a little bit of an overreaction to say that America doesn't need big AI data centers anymore. I think we need the build out of these big AI data centers. I think President Trump has expressed support for them. And I think we need to make it easier to build those data centers, to get them permitted and licensed, and to get power generated, electricity for those data centers. If we scale the biggest data centers, it is still an advantage. It is true that DeepSeek has shown new ways for AI models to be efficient, and I think our AI companies are going to learn and adopt those efficiency techniques as well. But you still want to be able to scale compute, and the data centers are essential for that.
Is there IP theft here? Did they steal some of what they were able to scale up here from us? And do we need to close the doors on what we're doing in terms of invention and technology?
Well, it's possible. There's a technique in AI called distillation, which you're going to hear a lot about, and it's when one model learns from another model. Effectively, what happens is that the student model asks the parent model a lot of questions, just like a human would learn. But AIs can do this, asking millions of questions, and they can essentially mimic the reasoning process that they learn from the parent model, and they can kind of suck the knowledge out of the parent model. And there's substantial evidence that what DeepSeek did here is they distilled the knowledge out of OpenAI's models. And I don't think OpenAI is very happy about this. And I think one of the things you're going to see over the next few months is our leading AI companies taking steps to try and prevent distillation. And so we'll see if the leading AI companies can prevent distillation by third-party companies. That would definitely slow down some of these copycat models.
So in terms of the big picture, David, and national security, I mean, you look at, World War II, and Japan built a naval force that became a big threat to us. You look at the Sputnik development, which Russia put a satellite into space that had some technology that the United States had no idea Russia had access to. Is this that kind of moment? And should we be concerned about the actual safety of Americans with AI? I want to play one more soundbite from Elon Musk, this one much more recent. This is 2023. Watch this.
There's some chance that above zero that AI will kill us all. I think it's low, but there's some chance.
He said there's some chance that AI will kill us all. David, what do you say about the national security threat here?
Well, here's what we know is that AI is a very powerful technology that has huge economic ramifications, and it also will have military applications. And if we want America to be the most powerful country, we have to be the leader in AI. There's just no two ways about it. And so we have to compete. We know that China's going to be very competitive. They've got a lot of smart people too, and they've got a pretty big high-tech industry. So it's going to be a very competitive race, and we have to do everything we can to win. It's just, I think, should be unacceptable to any American to live in a world in which China could outcompete us in AI and reap the economic and military benefits of that. So I think we're going to have to compete very effectively. President Trump, I think, started this in his first week in office. He rescinded the Biden EO, which imposed over 100 pages of burdensome regulations on our AI companies. Mm-hmm. The Biden EO seemed to be crafted in a world without global competition. It seemed to think that we could slow our companies down and somehow China wouldn't take advantage of that. It's pretty obvious that if we, hamstring our companies, China is going to basically win this race. So we just can't do that. I think what we have to do is support our AI companies. We have to make it easier to get power for data centers, and we've got to help them build out these data centers. So I'm confident we can win this AI race, but we can't be complacent about it.
Do you draw a line?
All right, so who is this guy? This is David Sachs. You should get to know him. You're going to see a lot of him in the next 4 years. Anytime anything related to AI, which is huge, is brought up, you're going to hear about him. He's going to be speaking on it. giving some facts, laying some things out there like he is. He's also the crypto czar. There's never been a crypto czar, so to speak. So he's like the main guy when it comes to the crypto realm. He'll be putting the stamp and the final word and then the rollout and all these things, like what I was telling you earlier about the whole tax implications that Eric was bringing up, Eric Trump, about no taxes on American projects. Yeah, so, yeah, and for everybody out there that keeps asking me about which one I would accept, I don't know, anything American that's not taxed, that's the biggest. I mean, one of the biggest names you're going to see there is obviously XRP, and things like that. Well, I don't know. You'd have to have a list again put together that I don't have. I probably have to work on that to get that full list. But Trump here on the flip side of this is saying he's sending troops into California to turn on the water. Now, what do you do when it's troops running into troops from the same military? What happens? What happens when you've got National Guard down here set up? I believe that's who they rolled in, that are blocking people from going into their homes, right? Which they should have let the people in this week, but they're still not letting them there at night, and they're still putting up checkpoints and all this other stuff. What happens when these other troops that Trump's sending in there to go into some of these territories to fix the water, they encounter them? Like there's a clash of what they're supposed to be doing here. Like, and it raises the question, like, why are the troops even down there stopping people from going into their homes? Like, on what you can and can't use military troops for on U.S. soil. It's just, let me say this. Now that we're in a state of emergency and effectively they brought the war here, that changes the game. It's something no one's talking about. It puts us into a perpetual state of war for like ever now. We were never in this situation, and he did it on day one. He told us he was going to do it well beforehand. He's done it. We're in it. We're in war. They have labeled the cartels terrorists, just like ISIS, just like all the other boogeymen. And they have given the green light to smoke them with our military to go in wherever to do whatever. And I ain't even got to that. Like, people just don't see it yet. I don't know, man. Things are definitely escalating. But when I see these troop things where he's sending troops under certain orders, and then Newsom's got troops there doing things under certain orders, what happens when they come face to face? Do you think you could spend $2 trillion in just 9 days? You could spend it in 1 second if you send it all to one place. Spend it though, like spend it. I mean, come on. I mean, what they do with some of this money is pretty crazy. All right, here is one that is going to be a positive. Okay, we always got to talk about a lot of this negative crap popping off because that's the world we live in. But every now and then we get some positives to pop up here. The House GOP granting concealed carry reciprocity for 22 million gun owners nationwide. This is what they pushed. They're saying that this Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, H.R. 38, is backed by 120 House Republicans, and it would ensure consistent protections for responsible firearm owners nationwide while still respecting state-level laws and autonomy. And it's pretty much putting it into motion that this will be viewed as kind of like a driver's license. Same thing, like if you've got a driver's license, it's good across the country. You know what I'm saying? It's good as long as it's valid in your state, and it's good across the country. So they're saying the same thing here. If you've got a permit it's going to be good. Now, then it raises the question, like, what if you're in a state like mine, it's constitutional carry, you don't even need a permit no more. You don't need a permit here. You used to have to, but now they were like, nah, constitutional carry, like everybody just gets strapped up. It's like, what do you guys see coming? Okay. I'm not going to argue with it. But if you want to be, if in that situation, you have nothing to show if you go across the country. But so if you're wanting to travel, you would probably still want to get a permit. If you want to travel and not get hassled, if you want to travel, carry your firearm and not get hassled, let me tell you, you get stopped at somewhere like Illinois. You know how many times in the past I would have to reroute or whatever just to not have to go through parts of Illinois. Because just simply that. You can't take your peace with you, your protection. Like when I was going to Ferguson and all this other stuff, in different places, up in Minnesota and things like that, like there's choices to be made. And it's like, do you go with no protection to one of these locations because you got to go through Illinois, or do you go around Illinois? Or do you try and risk it? Huh? And that's a lot just to go and try to cover something and be safe. A lot to have to stress. So I'm just saying this could be good. If you got travel plans or you travel a lot and you don't want to get messed with. So I've got an update on the drones. Everybody ready? That's right. I got an update on the drones, and I know we've got plane crashes, and different stuff that's ongoing here. Hold on a second. Let me get my where we at? Past top of the hour. Well, much love to everybody out there tuning in here tonight. I want to thank everybody that joins. Everybody that shares the stream. And I'm just checking the feed here real quick. Small plane crashed in. All right, so this is crazy. So I pull up on my feed. Whoa. Plane and helicopter collide at Reagan National Airport. Okay, so we're going to shift gears here real quick. Let's just do this. Let's just jump to some breaking news real quick. I'm just going to show you what I'm seeing here. Just off the top right side, it says a plane and helicopter collision at Reagan National Airport. So that is apparently what is being talked about, what has happened. 60 souls on board. 60 folks. So is that what we're seeing? Regional jet and a military helicopter. Black Hawk helicopter and a passenger jet. That's what Joe Agony's saying. Thank you. Yeah, I seen it, but I can't just stop in the middle of covering something. I've got to finish that and get to the next thing, man. It's like, small plane crash in Santa Barbara. So there's multiple things here. So the airspace above Washington, D.C. Sunday night. F-16 scrambled after a drone nears President Trump's plane. This was Sunday night. As it was reported right there. This right here says flight data suggests this doomed chopper reportedly involved in this plane crash at the Reagan Airport began tracking near CIA headquarters. Though it's unknown if it took off from there or whether it carried passengers or just pilots. Wow. Okay, so military helicopter collides with a regional flight near Reagan. And there is the footage. Some footage here. I'll just,
Yeah, so this coming out of the White House, Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, has confirmed to Fox News that President Trump has been made aware of this tragedy, and that tragically it does appear that a military helicopter was involved in this crash with this small regional aircraft. So that is coming from the White House, that he is aware of the situation on the Potomac. He's been briefed on it, and that a military helicopter, we still don't know the kind, what kind, but collided with a regional jet here at the DCA airport. Yeah, so this...
So, the hell with Fuentes. All right, so it's flight AA5422 from Wichita to DC collided with the military helicopter PAT-25 as part of the U.S. Army Priority Air Transportation Battalion used by VIP military officials. 60 passengers. Okay, so that is some of the latest updates right there that we've got on it, okay? We get any names, anything like that? If I see anything pop up in the feed, I'll update. So, wow. All right, so that sucks. And again, thank you, Enigma, for the coffees. Everyone out there that supported the channel, thank you. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for sharing the stream. Thank you for all that. Let's get into the drone gate stuff here, the updates here. And this is what the White House is now saying. Actually, hold on a second. Hold on. We've got an update. As I just said it. This is from the past 10 minutes. This is video captures the moment a Black Hawk military chopper collided with the commercial plane. So this is it. This is a clip right here coming in. You can see there's an arrow pointing down here on the bottom. I'm gonna hit play and send it into motion. Definitely clipped it. Oh yeah. They were very, very low. They are very, very low. Very low. Just above the horizon from this point. It says Black Hawk seems to have came in and clipped the plane. It looks like they're putting the blame on the Black Hawk. It seems right at the gate that it came in, it did the damage. It was the one off course. It was the one that deviated. Yeah, so no, that's messed up. Thank you for the information. Tacos, just seeing that. And thank you, Susie Q, for the information. Thank you for that link and everything else. All right. Drone gate. Can we put this thing to rest? Yeah, and prayers for all those people, for sure. Prayers for all the people that's deceased. And again, if I get names or get anything else, I'll update, And thank you to you guys that get that information to me. If you've got something, try to at me, at Dabu77 in the chat there. And that pops out in red real big, and it helps grab my attention, just like Giovanni. Oh, really? Synchronicities, Gio. Synchronicities, my man. For real. All right, so here we go. DroneGate. They're saying that these things were authorized by the FAA for research purposes. Okay, so let me just play the clip where they come out. This is the new speaker for the White House, if you don't know, too. You'll be seeing a lot of her. Here we go.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
It wasn't the enemy, okay? So, this was our government, as we highly suspected. They were at the top of the list. They were the number one culprit. Okay? The only thing that varied on this was if there was any credence given to what this clown Greer, which I feel like he's an asset, has been over here pitching. I think what they're doing is they are dropping soft disclosure. They're doing it. They're doing it in a subtle way. They've chosen their method. If you look at the guy off News Nation, the speaker with the white hair that speaks it, man, that's like a highly trained, perfectly picked man for this, the whole presentation, the way it's all being rolled out. Just little bits and pieces. And they are doing it just as Greer said. But the problem, I think, that's going on here is it's not this big bombshell. It's not going to be bombshell until people see, like, up close or inside of an aircraft, of one of these aircraft, or like HD, good footage of one of these aircraft, not just some egg and some grainy footage, on a repeated loop that they're trying to pull, all this other crap. People are like, no, like, show us a body. You said you got him. Let's just get this thing over with. I think we're getting close. I think it's about to happen. But I think that there's breadcrumbs that they're dropping leading up to this. Greer mentioned something like about, an alien invasion. Well, why do you think that he created Space Force? And who did that? Trump. They're back. This administration's back. Their agendas are back. And I think we see something crazy here. So the drones, let's just get to that, okay? I had to mention Greer and all that because it's a part of it. It's undoubtedly a part of it. I'll give him that. He's connected into it. And let's look back at what some of these other people were saying at the time.
In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyist or hobbyist.
Oh, really? 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 We know it's not our government because they would have let us know. Now what? You eat crow? What? This whole story that was pitched, just like this. Yeah, I had to take you back and remind everybody, this is what they were saying. Remember, mothership off the coast, Iran, this is where it came from. And that it couldn't be our government. They would have told us. Right? Just shows you right there how deceptive even your Fox News is. Right? Because if the Trump administration comes out and after this and says anything but what they officially just said, then they're flip-flopping, they're lying, and everything else. And you don't think that they would have jumped on a chance to blame Iran or something like that if it was come on. Like, no, they said it was not the enemy, that it was our government. Okay? So we knew this. Okay? The first tall tale sign is that they have green and red FAA lights. Enemy wouldn't do that. Our military flies stealth in the dark, doesn't have no lights, not gonna signal to the enemy down below. Hey, here we are. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. So when you see this, as we've said dozens of times at this point, the FAA lights are a dead giveaway that they know they're abiding by their rules. That was the major giveaway. We heard all kinds of stories that people were saying nuke sniffers and radiation, and I will say that they've subtly just told us what they're in possession of. By all man, thank you. They just admitted that they're in possession of these drones that are outrunning and teasing our own military. I mean, who else do you think was going over our military bases? And it was only happening over our bases. And again, I said this before, it sounds like they're practicing. It's exactly what they're now coming out and saying. It's them. It's them. Okay, it's them. Okay, it's you. We know it, and we now know this. Somebody get me up into this White House press room because I got some serious questions then. Can we see one of these drones landed up close and personal? These drones exhibit exotic technologies that have not been seen before. They have some kind of gas tank on them that can outrun all of our jets, all of our choppers. And they've done it time and time again, over and over and over again. So they've demonstrated that. Like, let's see it. You're telling us you've got this technology. You've got a gas tank on these things that can go just for days. Like, all over the place. Like, that in itself is, what is it? What are we dealing with here? Okay? Another is the thermal imagery. They can't be seen on a thermal. So, like, what's up? Like, what's up with this technology? Again, that's two big things. Okay. Then they said they couldn't bring them down out of the sky because they don't operate like a normal drone does. It runs off frequency, and like radio band frequency and signals. And what they do is they intercept it, they scramble, and they can bring the thing down. Like, you can't do that with these. Why can't you do it with these? Because it's some kind of new technology, and they said they're like either pre-programmed, or they're being controlled from an inner AI or some kind of something else that they couldn't explain. So they have demonstrated to us high technologies, multiple high technologies. And thank you, Deanne, for that. I don't know. Look, it's them. They just told you. I got a funny feeling, though, they're going to drop something pretty big here shortly. Pretty darn big. And it's going to be in terms of, like, of life. It has to be. It has to be. It has to be. It has to be. It'd be that moment. It'd be that moment. The first time they show what they say is an official, like from the government, like this is another life form. Like, what they show a gray or whatever fallen entity that they're going to introduce here. It seems like we're on the cusp of it. They said they've got it. They've got it. They got all the stuff. They got the bodies. They got everything. So, here's a heads up. All my cats in Colorado. You got a new gun control legislation that's going to ban a majority of guns in the state, and Republicans are warning about this. It's being considered. It would effectively ban a majority of the guns across the state. Of course, this is coming from the left, but this is what they're doing. And anytime they're coming for your guns, I try to give a heads up out there. They're trying in Colorado. And in Illinois, we have a bunch of pissed off people. They end up going off on what they call Dalton the dictator. He is the Democratic mayor there. And people step up and start voicing their opinion. Like this guy right here. And boy, it becomes a Royal Rumble. In this place. Check this out.
And earn some respect, then you should have been able to respond to Lori Lightfoot's report about credit cards. You want to talk about them not coming to work, but we've been hearing about what you've been doing while you've been at work, and I'm going to give away the rest of my time because I think on behalf of the Black Cookout Association that we would rather take a vote, that we're going to exchange your black ass for Stephanie to be the new member of Congress. So all those in favor say, all those against it say nay, all those in favor say aye. You gone, bitch.
Chaos, man. So yeah, that's what's going on up there. I told you Zuckerberg was meeting up with Trump. Everybody's meeting up with Trump, pandering to him. Well, there was this dispute. Apparently, he was sued, and Zuckerberg basically pays Trump $25 million. Because they suspended his accounts back in 2021. And, Zuckerberg keeps trying to play the card that he was forced to do it. He was told to do it by Biden and them. And he's come out and said that they tried to push all this different type of censorship stuff. But far as I could tell, Facebook has always been an op. And it always will be. He's trying to save face, but he had to cough up $25 million to Trump. Now, let's start moving through some of this political news. We have the USDA Inspector General physically removed by security because she refused to comply with being fired. Trump came in and was just like, you're fired. Classic old Trump coming in, doing this, and she refused to leave. So they had to send in authorities to basically drag her out. This is Phyllis Fong, a 22-year veteran of the USDA. Yeah, he's cleaning house left and right. He's announced that he will fire federal workers who refuse to show up to work in person by February 6th. So all these people, he's saying that you've got to come, you better be at work. If they refuse to show up, they're gone.
We have informed the federal workforce, which they've looked to do for many years, that if they're working for the federal government, they must show up to the office on time and on schedule. We don't want them. We don't want them to work from home because, as everyone knows, most of the time they're not working, they're not very productive, and it's unfair to the millions of people in the United States who are in fact working hard from job sites and not from their home. As federal employees, they must meet a high standard. They're representing our government, they're representing our country. If they don't agree by February 6th to show up back to work in their office, they will be terminated, and we will therefore be downscaling our government, which is something that the last 10 presidents have tried very hard to do but failed. Most of the people we're talking about have not been going to their federal offices in many, many years, from even before COVID. But they have nevertheless been paid. Some have worked, some haven't worked, and most of the studies say that some have just gone through the motions. We may ask these people to prove that they didn't have another job during their so-called employment with the United States of America, because if they did, that would be unlawful. As you understand, a lot of people are getting paychecks, but they're actually working other jobs, so they'll have to.
So they're cracking down in these departments. Now, look, there shouldn't be. You should be able to work from anywhere. After that's kind of a dictatorish slave thing that he just said. Like, you should be free to work wherever. If you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got an office in your home and you can work from that office inside your home, you don't have to pay rent somewhere else and drive somewhere else. Just do the same thing. Like, that's ridiculous. But there's two sides to every coin, right? I understand the point, what they're making. Like, you've got slouches all over the place. You got people freeloading. You got people that are just sucking off the system, and you've got people taking advantage of things, and you've got just, you've got all that, right? So that's one side. But then the other side is like, look, people should be able to, and look, they implemented this, right? Lockdowns, made everybody work from home, did all this. They like forced it. Now they're like pulling it all back the other way. But I think there should be an option. It's land of the free, like, I don't know. He's just like, no, they're cleaning house here, and we get it. We'll see how far they take this. I haven't even got to the Doge part. Oh, here it is. Trump's Doge claims. They're claiming that they're saving $1 billion a day. So they're stopping unnecessary new hires, diversity initiatives, certain improper payments. I'd like to see that if that's fact, but I mean, that's what they're saying. They're aiming to reduce costs by more than $3 billion daily. I mean, all right, so these are the moves they're making if you're wondering, because we were waiting to see, are they going to do something? Because if not, we're calling them out. Trump setting a new executive order record. Yep, he signed 38 directives less than 2 weeks in office. So that's a new record. And yeah, so he's just signing them away, you know. It's all sleight of hand. Well, it looks like here that Senator Mendez is getting hung out to dry, and they're making an example out of him. He was taking bribes, apparently, in gold and all this other stuff, which he shouldn't have been doing. You know, when he's getting bought out by foreign adversaries and things like that, agents out of Egypt and other places. That's when you know they're controlling your dudes and they're bought out, and that's not good. Well, he just got sentenced here to prison 11 years for accepting basically all these bribes and things like that. Solid gold bars and cash. He wasn't too smooth about what he was doing. He apparently got caught up and had plenty of proof. You know, when you use gold bars and cash, people do that to not get caught. But apparently he did. I don't know if he was talking about it or what, but when you're a senator, when you're anyone these days, they've got everything tapped, and they know everything that you're doing. Well, the Pentagon saying that they're going to investigate Milley and possibly demote him. His security clearance pulled. Damage has already been done, you ask me. But, yeah. And I want to play this right here, just so you know all the different players that are out there. Nicole Shanahan, she's a billionaire here. She basically says that, look, she put this clip out, and she's telling people out there, look, you need to get out and vote, or you need to make your voices heard, and say that they need to confirm RFK. Now, if you don't know, she is the one that was running with RFK in the beginning. But this is what she's saying. She's saying that if you guys don't confirm him, and she's a billionaire, she's saying she's going to use her money to fund primaries against these people. Like, so if you're somebody that if she finds out that you voted against RFK, then whenever your primary coming up is, she's going to fund whoever it is on the other side that's running against you. So this is opening a door of opportunity for some people out there to be backed by a billionaire if they're going to go up against some of these people.
Hey everyone, tomorrow is a pivotal moment in our nation's history. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, RFK will sit in front of the Senate Finance Committee for his confirmation hearing to be our nation's next Secretary of Health and Human Services. I urge everyone to call their U.S. senators over the following days and demand they vote yes on Bobby's nomination. He is more than qualified. He's proven, principled, and prepared to lead. I'll share a list below of key senators. If they represent your state, they need to hear from you. If they don't, please call your own senator and ask them to vote yes. We need as many votes as we can get. So this hasn't been widely reported, but in 2020, I cut large checks to Chuck Schumer to help Democrats flip 2 Senate seats in Georgia from red to blue. The 2 candidates I helped elect, Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff. Please know I will be watching your votes very closely. I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seats in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children. And more than that, I also want to say to Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders and Catherine Cortez Masto, this is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me. While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I won't. If you vote against him, I will personally fund challengers to primary you in your next election, and I will enlist hundreds of thousands to join me. Big Pharma and Big Ag have exploited us for far too long. It ends now. You're either on the side of transparency and accountability, or you are standing in the way. The choice is yours. Please choose wisely.
Yeah, she's a billionaire. There's so many people with so much money out there right now. It's disgustingly sick. It's time for us to get a piece, no matter what here. There's too many of them that don't do the right things. We go on and on and on and on and on and on of the long list of things, amazing things you could do if you're a billionaire to help this planet. Not just be caught up in a political game. I mean, and Deanne, thank you for the coffees. Much love. God bless. Oh, and y'all said that the links on the front of my YouTube page are messed up to buy me a coffee and PayPal. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah, Mitch is retiring. Get him out of here. There's a sign on one of these back roads heading down this way. It says Ditch Mitch. And it's been there for a long time. It's about to actually happen. McConnell will be out of here. But yeah, look. This, again, there's a lot of these billionaires out there that they're just sitting there. And look, they're like, they can take the role of like a little, this like her, for instance, right here. She can be like a mafia kingpin. She's basically saying and threatening and warning people like, look, and Elon does it too. I mean, George Soros is the master of this. Use their money to fund an army to get what they want. Yeah, you're funding foot soldiers. You know, to do what you want ultimately in the end. Again, oh man. So, I mean, and we'll see. I say at this point with RFK, it's like the whole confirmation thing, everything. It's all the energy's been put into it. Like, just let him in there. Same thing. You'll tell them by their fruits. Either good things are going to be happening, or we're going to start to see nefarious things. Or a mixture. You know. Here's Bernie Sanders. Like, I can't believe this guy's still around, but he, all these people came in there to this RFK thing. Like, they stayed up late last night, like, trying to figure out what they were gonna. Him and Warren, Elizabeth Warren over here, they're all trying to figure out something they could just beat him over the head with, you know, and like, try to make him look like a fool. But they really always make themselves look like fools because it always backfires. But yeah,
You have started a group called the Children's Health Defense. You're the originator. Right now, as I understand it, on their website, they are selling what's called onesies. These are little things, clothing for babies. One of them is titled Unfaxed, Unafraid. Next one, and they're sold for $26 a piece, by the way. Next one is No Vax, No Problem. Now, you're coming before this committee and you say you're pro-vaccine. Just want to ask some questions. And yet your organization is making money selling a child's product to parents for $26, which casts fundamental doubt on the usefulness of vaccines. Can you tell us now that you will, now that you are pro-vaccine, that you're going to have your organization take these products off the market?
Senator, I have no power over that organization. I'm not part of it. I resigned from the board.
That was just a few months ago. You founded that. You certainly have power. You can make that call. Are you supportive of this?
I've had nothing to do with leadership.
Are you supportive of these onesies?
I'm supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is militantly anti-vaccine?
I am supportive of vaccines.
Right.
I will. I want good science, and I want to protect.
But you will not tell the organization you founded not to continue selling that product. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You can see how irate some of these guys get in all this, and Elizabeth Warren the same way. They all just taking their turns up there, and they're an embarrassment, man. These are our senators, like, call it left, right, whatever. Like, these people are embarrassing, and just it's bad, man.
You said that President Trump asked you to, quote, clean up corruption and conflicts. Sounds great. You've said that you will, quote, slam shut the revolving door between government agencies and the companies they regulate. That also sounds great. So here's an easy question. Will you commit that when you leave this job, you will not accept compensation from a drug company, a medical device company, a hospital system, or a health insurer for at least 4 years, including as a lobbyist or a board member?
Can you just repeat the last part of the question? Can I commit?
You're not going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Who? Me?
Yes, you.
Oh. Yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with. And I think you're right on this question.
I don't think any of them want to give me money, by the way.
Let's keep going.
So that's how these confirmation hearings go, and I think he's going to get it. He should, and we'll see what's going to stop it. Again, it's all a puppet show, but I thought this one here was kind of crazy. They caught this person in there, left-leaning establishment reporter, with their laptop open, and with people walking behind, they can see what's on the screens. And they could see that she already had typed up a pre-written negative headline before the whole thing even got going. So they already have preconceived negative things, man. Like, that's bad. Like, the truth doesn't even have a fair shot. When it's set up like that, like, everything's so manipulated and everything else, man, it's bad. But not surprising. This is also not surprising. I would expect to see more of it at this rate. Police arresting a man with Molotov cocktails for plotting to assassinate Trump administration officials. So this man out of Massachusetts was arrested near the U.S. Capitol. This took place on Monday. This man confessed to carrying weapons and revealed a plot to assassinate different people, including Scott Bessent, Pete Hegseth, and others. So he rolled up in there with a couple Molotov cocktails, which were vodka bottles. He used clothes for the wicks that were soaked in hand sanitizer. And he had like a knife. And he said that he was going to go up there and just start throwing the Molotovs and hopefully get close enough to be able to stab some people. And like, it sounded so generic. And then they said that when they searched his vehicle and all this stuff, that they found a manifesto on the back of a receipt. And I'm like, oh no, like, there was a manifesto. Like, luckily this didn't turn into an event, but it's like being used as propaganda, obviously here. And of course, the headline, who's there to assassinate people and take them out with a couple bottles of hand sanitizer, a lighter, and a knife. Like, I just don't think he would have got that far. JG says plane crash near GC. Is it the same? You talking about the same one at Reagan? Same thing we covered or what? I'm going to keep it pushing here. We've got deranged people all over the place. And apparently, they created a code on TikTok to bypass the algorithm so it would not censor or delete them. And they made this code here about boots. And everyone that was posting with this was basically telegraphing that they support taking out Donald Trump. Yeah, I covered that, Kevin. Yeah, champ, we covered that already. But much love, thank you for the information. Yeah, I covered it, showed stuff here earlier. This is pretty crazy though. When you've got people creating this whole code, basically signaling to go out there and do something to attack.
11, 5, 9 and 20 miles today, 4, 11.
This is what all these videos are like right
the
here.
day before. Boot, boot, boot. Up and down again.
Rapid.
Drop. They will get the top of you. Boot, boot, boot.
It's demonic. The way some of these are, and like this lady, she doesn't. She thinks she's slick, but people just like this getting reported to the FBI and getting reported to the police because they're doing it too. And they think they're slick, but by doing this, it's this cute. It says the code word right there, on sale now, and you can see what she's holding up on the thing saying breaking ice in Michigan, very active right now. So she's showing some things she wants to get across using code words in her language, but her language is like totally talking, acting like she's selling stuff, and you'll see.
I just wanted to come on here and share my newest TikTok haul. I got these super cute winter boots. We love cute winter boots. I got them on sale in the TikTok shop. Wanted to share them with you guys. Super grateful and thankful that TikTok is back so that we can share our amazing TikTok shop finds. So definitely in the comments, let me know if you liked my cute winter boots. And let me know if you guys want to know about this super nice ring light that I have. You can also tell me that you like my ring light in the comments. Or if you guys want more information about the boots or the ring light that I'm mentioning, definitely look up cute winter boots or new ring light in the search bar and share this with everyone that you know and like it, and comment that you like my winter boots to get the word out.
You see? You see? She thought she was... Joe said, annoying, shut her up. You'll never have to hear it again, brother. You'll never have to hear it again. But look, I'm not gonna torture you, because just as bad as that one was, I go to this one. You hit play and you're gonna say the same thing in this one. Hit play and say the same thing in this one. And it's just like it goes on and on and on. It's like carbon copies. I don't know what they've done here, but this is like a thing out there. Yeah, they're trying to be slick about this stuff. See, I mean, just it goes on and on and on. So, yeah, again, the code to bypass the TikTok algo in organizing Project Mayhem. So that's what they're calling this. Trump saying that Microsoft is in talks to purchase TikTok. So we've had all these people mention it and bring it up. But, really? All of a sudden, Microsoft? Really? Just remember, influence of all these different people. And old Gates was dining there at Mar-a-Lago recently. If you missed this, this is a big announcement. Trump is saying that they're going to roll out, like immediately, an Iron Dome. And I think that they're expecting attacks, incoming rocket attacks to start happening from Mexico. All this is going to go through the roof. We've got military there now. Like, they were shooting across at our people this whole time, and our border agents just had to take it. Like, Biden and them had us so weakened. But now we're firing back and we're bringing them back up and all this other stuff. And it's changing things. A war's begun. And he's saying that we're going to have an Iron Dome here, similar to what Israel puts up, which none of that has stopped a hypersonic missile yet, which is crazy.
And in a little while, I'll be signing 4 new executive orders. First is that I'm directing our new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who's going to be great, by the way. Thank you for the support. Thank you very much for the support. You really did support him greatly. I think he's going to be fantastic. I know him very well. I think he's going to be fantastic. He's what we need to immediately begin the construction of a state-of-the-art Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will be able to protect Americans. You know, we protect other countries, but we don't protect ourselves. And when Ronald Reagan wanted to do it many years ago, luckily we didn't. We didn't have the technology then. It was a concept, but we didn't. And now we have phenomenal technology. You see that with Israel. We're out of 319 rockets. They knocked down just about every one of them. So I think the United States is entitled to that. And everything will be made right here in the USA, 100%. And next, to ensure that we have the most lethal fighting force in the world, we will get transgender ideology the hell out of our military. It's going to be gone. In addition, we will stop our service members from being indoctrinated with radical left ideologies such as critical race theory. We're going to stop it. It's already been stopped. It's already been halted, totally halted. And finally, we will offer full reinstatement to any service member who was expelled from the armed forces due to the COVID vaccine mandate. And we will restore them to their former rank with full pay. And in a little while...
So that's pretty huge right there. That move right there alone. Yeah, for those that are showing up late, talking about the crash, we've covered the crash already earlier in the stream, with the helicopter and all that. But we have another situation here, where we had a jet crash in Alaska, an F-35 of all things that it could have been here, because they've had issues. Whoa, it just drops. Pilot ejected. You see him floating down there in the parachute, so... yeah. that is another crash that has happened. Jumping into the Ukrainian stuff here. Apparently, U.S. cutting off the funding is already hitting them hard. And if you didn't hear or know, apparently, with this whole thing, Zelensky rejected the deal that Trump had to try to work out. He tried to have this peace plan on the table, and it started with Zelensky, but Zelensky wouldn't take the deal at all, and apparently he will not work out any peace. Putin is saying that he can't negotiate with Zelensky because Zelensky has outlawed peace talks, which is crazy. How can there ever be a deal? How can there ever be a deal? Anything struck up if he doesn't want to come to the table to talk. So what just happened? They target Russia again. Okay, they're supposed to be trying to get to peace talks, but what do? They target their nuclear plant. And they send all these drones that way. So the nuke plant, 100 drones sent from Ukraine overnight against different oil and power facilities, including the Smolensk nuclear power plant. Why would you do that? That's if something bad would have happened there, I could see Russia using a nuke, a tactical nuke, and hit them. Still on the table, man. Until this thing is like finished and done, anything can happen. And they're doing stupid stuff like this, targeting their nuke plants. I'm telling you, man, Russia just could say screw it and just do a decapitation strike on Kiev. I mean, why not at this point? It's just right there. It's not like they can't get it. It's not like they don't know where this guy's at this point. I've wondered that the whole time, but the world is a stage. It seems like getting Zelensky right there for Russia shouldn't be too big of an issue. And they haven't even attempted. So Iran purchases weapons, advanced Sukhoi 35 jets from Russia. So now Iran has state-of-the-art advanced jets out there. Notice again how these are labeled 35s. Like we have F-35s in our series. And that's what they all roll with the same stuff here for these newer jets. But these jets, man, are like a thing of the past. As soon as this new technology is rolled out full scale here, I'm hoping that then we'll see why. You know, they just stopped caring about our F-35s. Like we just seen one fall out of the sky and crash. And there's been all these issues with them. When you've got anti-gravitics and a brand new technology that you're rolling out, man. See, I've been talking about the anti-gravitics and propulsion for a long time now. And like, now it's being brought out into the open. Just wait till it's really brought out into the open. And it's like, out here to be utilized. It's going to be a game changer. And all these stupid little rockets that you see Elon over here launching and trying to stick the landing on, it's rather pathetic knowing that they know of all this technology. They know that it's just a little show. When you're sitting there and you know of all these crazy technologies and what's really going on with space and everything else, you know that this is just a show with rockets. It's like caveman technology compared to what they've really got. And he's sitting there helping to push that with the whole rocket thing and sticking the landing and all that. Like it's almost making a mockery out of it. Like that's the peak of what they could do with it. Is like catch it in the little thing. What they're doing right now. But really, it's a big waste of money and everything else. And technology-wise, man, it's like ancient. Anti-gravitics, propulsion, all these things, man, when they get rolled out, all this stuff is obsolete. China building a nuclear fusion research center. Ray Dalio warning that the next big war is going to be between AI, between the United States and China. No country can afford to lose. You could basically say that it's already begun. And, yeah, AI, man, this is just the beginning of it. Rolling out all over the place. Let's check in at the border. At the border, we've got military rolling in. We've got a lot of shootouts already happening where, as I said before, these cartels, we've been hearing about it for the past year. It's been ramping up. They're shooting into our country. And thank you, John, for those coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest. Now someone's shooting back. So it changes the game a little bit, you know? They're sitting there shooting relentlessly all the time into our country, and no one was doing anything. Now all of a sudden, full-blown military is rolling in, and a war is popping off. It's going into motion. So dudes are going to be getting blown away at the border. Here's a new one. They just put out a brand new do not travel warning. This is the highest level warning that you can put out. And it's for many different towns along the Mexico-U.S. border. They say that all of them are at an elevated risk over kidnapping, gun battles, and just getting shot up, in improvised explosive devices being discovered in several different locations. So it's now a level 4 do not travel issued for many different areas like Reynosa, Rio Bravo, Valle Hermosa, San Fernando. That's all the areas where IEDs were found. These are areas that border the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, which I'm telling you now, that's an ancient area. It's an ancient area. We know it because I've seen it on satellite. And every single time a place that has ancient stuff like comes up, it seems like it becomes war-torn. Like you can never go there to check it out. And you could say that about a large part of Mexico and the jungle and all the area, the old Mayan civilization that still sits there. Most people don't go and explore because if you run into the cartel, they could mow you down, cut you up, whatever. It's been happening. These crazy horror stories about the stuff happening down in Mexico has been happening. It just has. It needs stopped. It needs checked. But I don't know to what expense here. You can see here, amid the deportations, a boat packed with migrants has been intercepted trying to get into the United States. Well, let me add to that on top of that, multiple vehicles or multiple vans packed full of Chinese were stopped and taken in. So, the Trump administration giving ICE an arrest quota of 1,800 illegal aliens per day nationwide. All right, so they're saying 25 officers must make at least 75 arrests each day to meet the quota. Since Trump took office less than 10 days ago, ICE has made approximately 4,500 arrests. So that's where we're at. Yeah. Feds nabbed 50 illegals on a raid for Trende Aragua's gang at a makeshift nightclub. So these different little cells and pockets. Here's a list here of some of the major places, what to know, not to know. The places that they're targeting right now for sure. All the sanctuary places are on the list. If your city, major city next that you're in or next to you is labeled as a sanctuary city, it could be on the list. When it comes to mind here that I know is a sanctuary city is Cincinnati. It's not as large scale as Chicago, Denver, Houston, Newark, Los Angeles. They're at the top of the list, but it's gonna spread out to these other cities like that. And it's begun. Homan has declared war. Flat out, they got teams going everywhere, and it's popping off at the border. And look at this, multiple FBI agents call in sick with the bird flu. So that was just like an FU to avoid helping ICE round up these criminals in Chicago. So since they want to play the other side of the game here and say FU to Trump and all them, they called in sick and didn't participate with trying to round up the criminal illegals. I mean, you would think that they would care. There's murderers and rapists and all this, but nah, I get lost in the political garbage. And you don't care if there's pedo murderer, living in the same building as you or not. Like, it's ridiculous. But Trump has now said, look, we're going to open up Guantanamo Bay for some of these worst criminal migrants. So I think he's doing this to also set an example and say that, look, you want to mess around, this is where we're going to go. This is what's going to happen. And they're going to utilize it. They're saying they have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo Bay to detain these people. Because they've been processed and released almost all the Al-Qaeda and ISIS is back into the world. And the new bad guy are the cartels. I'm telling you, in migrants, it's saying. So that's everyday. That's like around the world, everyday people that are criminals, basically. So they're policing everyone at this point. I don't know. Every time I report on this, even though I don't say it, but every single time I report on pieces of this, I get these flashes of just like this place being a prison. And I instantly know what would make it that. And it would be if bird flu locked this place down for real. It's scary, to be honest with you. Because we spent a long time, many years, exposing the plans of Jade Helm. And it all had to do with something with the border. But back then, all this wasn't happening. So we didn't know what it was. But we knew something huge was going to happen with the border. Because Jade Helm focused on just that. And then all this, all the way to the point that camps going up. To house people, every single bit of it. Now you can see perfectly. Every bit of it falls into place. Every bit of it. The part where it switches and goes against we the people, and the only way it could is again, if like the bird flu or something very deadly broke loose. All these strike teams would be used against everyday people to see if you're marked, to see if you're vaxxed up with the latest concoction against, and I believe that this time coming around, I believe this time it will be really deadly. And this time they're going to use the Gates 666 Luciferase injection because they didn't use it last time. It's still sitting there, waiting to be used. And it was made for that moment. And we haven't even done it yet. And he knows this. That's why he warned. He warned by this year, actually, that it would happen. Multiple times he telegraphed it, multiple videos. I've tweeted it out, posted it, all this other stuff. He said it with a smirk. That this next time, and they were like, "What do you mean? Like this next time?" Like he was telegraphing it clearly that this next time, and that was 5 years ago. It was 5 years in advance. Oh man, what sucks really bad is if I'm gonna try to have some hope here. But if this was to happen, they played the card. It's going to be the worst. It's going to be the worst thing of our lives. The banks could get hacked. Ransom your money. Economy could come down and all this, but they're all survivable type of events if you plan accordingly and you really want to. As crazy as a lot of these scenarios are, but a real bird flu breakdown with people dead, it's going to change everything. Everyone's life will be pure misery and hell because you'll have nothing. You'll be down to nothing. Everything will be locked up because no one will want to touch anything. And you would think that since you supposedly lived through a pandemic, that you would know this lesson. But you don't know this lesson because you never lived through a real one. You threw a big beta test. So why would they have done that? Why would they have ran a huge global beta test? You run a beta test for the real thing. That's the scary part, man. I don't know where this thing goes if they release something truly deadly. If they go full force with this bird flu thing, because it's gonna wreck everything. It's one thing to push a scam and again lie and to go in and be like, oh, there's bird flu here and be lying about it and have all these people kill their chickens and affect the prices. That's one thing. But it is a different thing when like the very first headlines are released on whatever day it's going to be that a dozen people dead from one location from what looks to be bird flu or whatever. It's going to be a nightmare, man. The way of life is going to suck. I'm telling you now. I don't know how people are going to do it in the major cities. It's just anywhere that's tight, quartered, cramped up. When there's dead bodies. I could imagine if I was in like in an apartment building and power's been out now for days and like everyone's geeking and like there's dead people stacked up outside from the complex and like you can hear people coughing in their apartments and all this craziness and like what are you gonna do? Like I had these visions a long time ago, man, and I spent the past 5 years preparing for this moment. I don't want to have to live like the visions I've seen, and I don't want anyone to have to live through it. I'm hoping to the Most High they don't play this card. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. How do you respond to that when you look out your window again and there's bodies at the end of everyone's driveway? And like just one person trying to venture out to get stuff is risking their lives. Like, see, that's the reality of a real pandemic. People have been fooled, but they've been fooled in a crazy way. Like, they think that they've lived through one and they haven't. So when a real one hits them, these realities are going to be cold. It's going to be bad, man. I hope I don't have to live through it, man. But that's the worst thing that I could foresee happening at this point. Like, you can navigate through some of these other things, but if they release something that's got a high, death rate attached to it, they may get everything they want with it. And that was the plan the whole time. That was the plan the whole time. And I've seen it clearly, and I dread that moment because that's when more than likely you and I part ways. Oh, you'll never hear from me again. And you have a choice. I don't see how they wouldn't clamp down through all that. With the whole mark and everything being rolled out, you're gonna have to comply just to even be on the system, cooperate with the system, get goods, buy things, anything like that. Man, oh man, it definitely be a shocker. They got to get them Deagle's numbers somehow, right? How could they have ever done it? How would they ever be able to do it? It's almost this one way. And then mix in, just like we saw this last time, the whole plan with inoculation on the back end, and all the everything that comes with that. Remember, it was Bill Gates that was on stage himself that was talking to the crowd, and he had said that when it comes in terms of depopulating the planet, he brought up vaccination. That was him. He's on film saying that, and nobody else. Looky who we got here. I got one more thing I'm going to play here, and this is on Gates. This is like a cover type deal. He's trying to cover up. And you can see he's here with young girls that were on Epstein Island. I mean, this guy, we've got enough dirt on Gates to put him away. In a righteous court of law, we do. He's not a licensed doctor, and he's been feeding he's been feeding people all this medicines, and he's not licensed to do it. That right there is done. Okay, it's just one thing. Play this clip here so he can say it himself. He can hear what he's saying.
In retrospect, I was foolish to spend any time with him.
The Journal previously reported on Gates's ties to Jeffrey Epstein, including that Epstein threatened Gates over an affair he had. The two met a few times, Gates says, to discuss philanthropy.
Do you think, looking back at that moment, that you were being played?
Well, Jeffrey, in retrospect, I was foolish to spend any time with him, and he sort of got time with various people by spending time with other people. So, yes, I think I was quite stupid I thought it would help me with global health philanthropy. In fact, it failed to do that, and it was just a huge mistake.
Has it made you more wary of connections?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you hear what he just said? Do you hear what he just admitted? And I'm going to get some updates on the crash here before we check out. I've got some new information. But do you hear what he just said? He said that Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed him and threatened him over an alleged affair. He openly said it, dude. Dude, that is huge. That's what Epstein does. Who would have benefited from him dying? Someone like Bill Gates, who can now sit here and smile with this big grin on his face, just like this, like, oh yeah, I was foolish, I was stupid, blah blah blah, but yeah, nothing was going on. Oh yeah, you're dozens of flights out there, and he was just someone you met from hanging with other people. Just get out of here. Thank you, Martin. Yes, I've touched on both. I'm going to give an update here on the one event here in just a second. I just wanted to point that out. He admitted that Epstein had blackmailed him. He said it. This guy says stuff on video that puts him away. I'm telling you, he does it again and again and again. He just admitted that Epstein had him blackmailed. He just said it, dude. Like, is anyone even paying attention? Like, or does anybody even care anymore? I know a lot of you guys do, but like the rest of the world, like, are you kidding me? This dude's over here on film saying this stuff. All right, I'm just gonna give you guys an update here real quick on the situation with the crash. And then we're gonna call it a night. 4 survivors rescued from the icy Potomac waters is what they're saying right now. They're saying that this aircraft departing from Reagan, as we showed you earlier, it crashed. 4 individuals rescued. The Gateway Pundit reported a moment ago that a mid-air collision occurred over the Potomac River near D.C. involving an American Eagle Flight 3542 and U.S. Army Sikorsky UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter. The collision resulted in both aircraft crashing into the icy waters below. This American Eagle Flight 5342, operated by PSA Airlines, was en route from Wichita, Kansas to Ronald Reagan National Airport. The Bombardier CRJ-700 regional jet was carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members. The U.S. Army helicopter had 3 military personnel on board. They can confirm that the aircraft involved in tonight's incident was an Army UH-60 helicopter out of Fort Belvoir, Virginia. And as I stated earlier, that was one that was set to carry VIP top individuals. And that is the latest. So, that's, yeah, RIP to all the souls lost. Yeah, man. So tonight, thoughts and prayers with all the souls, man. All the people that's lost their lives in this crazy event right here. Can you imagine being in the icy waters and all that down there? And people survived. They pulled survivors out. Insane. just an insane situation here. Again, hopefully we can report that more were saved. But as time ticks by, in a situation like this, more time goes by, it's not that good. But the fact that they're pulling some survivors out is good. But wow, I mean, a mid-air collision of this magnitude in this area, that is the latest, though. Checking some of the emails here real quick on the way out. Again, Dabu7 at yahoo.com if you got anything you need to get to me. And yes, Max, I see that. If you've, I've got XRP and I guess USDT links that I've added into the box for those that keep asking. I'm sticking with those because they're American that I'm aware of. If you got anything that you want to get to me, though, Dabu7 at yahoo.com. I appreciate that, and I'll update on the next show. I just feel that this sucks with this crash going into the water. Overnight like this just always sucks. It just hampers rescue operations. It's just, I feel for all the souls out there, man. Thank you for everyone that shares the stream, everyone that joins us. I appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you, Martin, again. And everyone for the super chat, everyone for the coffees, all the support, PayPals, anything like that. It's all appreciated to the fullest. Going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, covering all the latest. Look to be back on Friday. And that will be the last stream of the month. Then we'll be going into February. Y'all stay safe, stay warm out there. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, everybody out there, all the mods, for everything that you do. Yes, and for sure, Uncommon. I appreciate it all, everybody. I'll take us out of here on some music. Make sure to follow me over on X or, X, as it is. Posting there throughout the day on breaking stuff. And I'll see you guys here next time for some Underground World News Live. Much love. Thank you, Eon. God bless, man. Legendary. Appreciate it more than you know.